Alright, so I've thoroughly been enjoying these Andrew Tate videos. You guys have been loving it. You guys have been supporting the Tate videos. So, I mean, why not, so to speak, take advantage of this? Why not, so to speak, give you guys more Tate content? Now, the man, as we know, very well spoken, very articulate. Today, we're going to be checking out a video called Andrew Tate Just Exposed Mr. Beast. The man's had beef with pretty much everyone at this stage. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the channel, welcome to Goals and Growth. My name is Estian. Please consider subscribing, as this channel is meant to help you become the best version of yourself. Also, what you can do down below is if you comment the word progress down below in the comment section, you'll receive links to my free ebooks as well as my free private Discord community. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and comment down below progress. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get to this.
Probability that of the 4 or 5 or 6 people who ever make this show, which is the largest and most famous show amongst children in the world, which has a whole bunch of corporate sponsorships, a whole bunch of money behind it, taking into consideration the things I've said about how they try to get me to sell my soul, that one of them decides to very publicly do something which adheres with an agenda they are trying very hard to psyop the youth with. And then the leader of this channel, Mr. Whatever, he very calmly and very cucked says, yeah, it's good, I support them, and did it because he knows he's going to get in a lot of trouble if he doesn't.
In a recent interview that Andrew Tate did, he exposed Mr. Beast for quote-unquote promoting an agenda, and his talking points about this whole entire thing are very, very interesting, and they're honestly way, way different than I thought. That is the reason I believe everybody should listen to this, because what he says is very, very important, and it holds a lot of truth in it. And be sure to watch till the end, because his actual answer to this stuff is very, very unique in a way. Yeah, guys, if you are new...
That's what I've been saying, right? Every argument he has, right, or every point that he states, the man backs it up with pure facts. I mean, listen, yeah, he says some off-the-wall-ish sometimes, but at the same time, you got to give him credit for really speaking pure facts. I mean, it's why I respect him so much.
And be sure to watch till the end, because his actual answer to this stuff is very, very unique in a way. Yeah, guys, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe right now. And check out this video. This is very, very interesting.
The biggest YouTuber in the world, his normalization of a thing, or is that something that you're not even allowed to talk about? Like, how off limits is that topic? Because you know what I'm saying, and it's one of those things where if you put it out there, and if we were to say his name and associate it, it's like insta hate. And I enjoy his content. I think he makes fun videos.
He does.
However, what he's doing is normalizing transgenderism amongst children. It's not amongst adults. The target audience is children.
Yeah, see that. Okay, that's the first time I've heard something like that coming from Mr. Beast. I'm not an avid Mr. Beast fan. I have watched 1 or 2 of his videos. I know the guy is brilliant at making videos. He's brilliant at really, holding the viewer's attention, really dragging you into that video. He's very good with that, brilliant with that. But in fact, if this is the case, I mean, it's one thing, as he said, to try and brainwash adults, but it's another thing. It's another ethical and moral concern when it comes to brainwashing children, right? Because children, young children especially, are at their most vulnerable, right? How you influence them now will determine their mindset in the future. So
it's normalization, but if you talk about it,
well, see, here's the thing that's interesting.
Like, we haven't even said his name. Everyone knows who we're talking about.
And I don't know the guy. And I'll also be honest.
Yeah.
I know the kind of videos he makes. I know he makes like these prank or like these game show videos. I've never watched them, but I do know this. I know enough about the world and how it works to understand. And you have to base your worldview on probabilities.
Yeah.
Right? Like we said earlier, if I go stroke the lion, I'm probably going to get eaten.
Of course.
There may be examples where the lion doesn't eat me, but I think it's a good worldview for me to hold for the preservation of my bloodline that I avoid the lion.
Yes.
So when you look at scenarios where you don't have all the information, you have to come up with the probability. So what is the probability that of the 4 or 5 or 6 people who ever make this show, which is the largest and most famous show amongst children in the world, which has a whole bunch of corporate sponsorships, a whole bunch of money behind it, taking into consideration the things I've said about how they try to get me to sell my soul, that one of them decides to very publicly do something which adheres with an agenda they are trying very hard to psyop the youth with. And then the leader of this channel, Mr. Whatever, he very calmly and very cucked says, yeah, it's good, I support them, and did it.
I mean, listen, yeah, that's and the thing is, I would guess that most of Mr. Beast's audience are young kids. I mean, he makes these game show videos, he makes these fun type of videos, very entertaining. So of course, that it wouldn't surprise me if that were to be his main target audience. But if he's misusing that, listen, I have no facts on my side. I'm not aware of the facts at the moment, so I'm not going to make any conclusions from this. But if that is the case, Well,
with an agenda they are trying very hard to psyop the youth with. And then the leader of this channel, Mr. Whatever, he very calmly and very cucked says, yeah, it's good, I support them, and did it because he knows he's going to get in a lot of trouble if he doesn't. And you're going to sit here and say that that's all a coincidence and there was no corporate powers involved and no money involved and no one said to him, listen, you better support this transition. If you don't, you're going to lose your channel. Okay. And you're telling me that this all just happened organically and there was no plan.
Once again, he has a point, and I do believe what he's saying. It does hold fact. The government literally can take, if they really want to bullshit you, they really want to get at you, they will. They have the power to do so, right? It's just a matter of signing a few papers here and there, and then your life is gone, basically, which is a very scary thought. But that is the times we live in.
At all. If you believe that, then you're an idiot. Then you're an idiot. And it's a psyop. And psyops are slow and incremental. And that's why a 5-year-old who's watching it now, who doesn't even truly understand what's going on, by the time he's 15, 16, 17, when he's arguing, saying, well, no, because, I know people who changed gender and they were happier than ever before. And I saw them before and then I saw them after and they were so happy.
Exactly. And where do they get their thoughts? They get those thoughts from what they were exposed to early in their childhood, as he said.
All their friends supported them, and that they are after your kid. They are coming for your children, everybody at home, because it is your children that are the future, which they want to control. When you have kids and you love them and you love your wife and you look into your beautiful smiling daughter or son's face, please understand that they are nothing but a tool for the Matrix, and they are coming for them. And if that doesn't panic you and you don't worry about that and you sit and say, we'll just let them watch YouTube. It's just one of them became transgender. Oops. Shit just happened.
And that's the thing, right? You have YouTube. I think you have YouTube Kids now also, but you have such a vast young audience on YouTube every single day that is pretty easy to really sneak these subtle, just hints in there. These subtle messages in there that kind of tweaks the worldview, and that's slowly but surely it will build up.
Oops. Well, then you're a dummy waiting to die.
It's funny how there are certain topics and certain things that if you were to have a stance on, it's like instant cancellation, right? Could you take it from both sides? This topic specifically, or even people always say, how come you don't speak about Israel-Palestine? I mean, Israel-Palestine. I'm like, from my perspective of my history, of my background, I really don't have much skin in the game. I'm not either. I don't relate to either. I don't feel like I have to take a side here. And if you don't take a side, both sides come at you and said, how come you don't take our side?
Well, no, you're right. Just to quickly touch back on that, I just had a thought regarding the situation we were discussing previously. We're not allowed to say Mr. Beast's name, so I won't say it. But
you can't say Mr. Beast's name. You can't say Mr. Beast.
No, but here's the thing. It's interesting.
Smooth.
If there was any honor amongst that group, and I don't have a problem with this guy. I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
I'm more famous than him anyway, so we're gonna probably meet.
Oh.
I don't have a problem with him, but here's the thing that I find interesting. Let's remove the argument about transgender, because they're gonna sit and say that it's not his fault, he's born in the wrong body, blah blah. That's a dumb shithole I don't even want to go down. Let's remove it. Me as a man of honor, I believe that now, because of my massive influence, I have a responsibility, and I'll admit this now. There are clips of me that I made 10 years ago, which I don't think would be appropriate for 14 and 15-year-olds to see.
At least he admits it.
Because I made them when I had no followers and no subscribers, and I was joking with my friends, and we were filming everything, and it didn't matter. And now I understand with massive power comes massive responsibility, and I've had to correct my message and be slightly more careful.
You see, this is the side of Andrew Tate that most people don't want to see. They ignore it. And, this is the side that really got my respect. It really pulled me in, because he says himself that, in the past there were things that I'm not proud of saying, that I wasn't proud of saying, that I shouldn't have said. And it came across as just morally and ethically wrong. But at the same time, he's now trying to say that with his great influence and great power comes great responsibility. So absolutely 100% correct.
Every single word I say is watched. That's sensible. For you to become more famous and then be more careful about certain things you say or how you say them is the sensible thing to do. So if I was a member of this group of people and I decided to do something which was obviously sexually related, it was regarding sex in general, and it was obvious for everyone to see, and it was something that was going to raise a lot of questions, and it was going to involve sexuality amongst the lives of a bunch of people who shouldn't be thinking about sex yet, I would have enough honor to say, you know what, I've made enough money and I really need to do this. I resign. And I do it in private. Why would I do that publicly? Irregardless, Please understand, because they're going to argue this, not understanding I'm smarter than all of them. Irregardless of how important it is to do, irregardless of the fact that you believe it's essential, even if I agree with you that it's essential, even if I agree with you that you need to do this because you were born in the wrong body, even if I agree with all that,
which is
don't
ridiculous.
we all agree that doing something so obviously sexual for children to
Is
observe
also-
and question
Yes.
is something that shouldn't be happening?
Yes, sir.
So even if you do...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And especially if you know you have such a young audience, you got to be very careful about the gestures you make, the words you say, how you say it, how you address certain topics is absolutely
want
true.
to do that, and even if I agree you should do that, you should still resign unless it's a psyop. Unless
Yes.
you're going to sit here and argue the fact that you're trying to psyop the kids, which is what they'll do. Oh, but kids need to get used to the idea.
No.
Psyop. So you are a
Psyop.
psyop. Oh,
Yeah.
but kids need to get used to the idea and they
No.
don't need to be threatened
Psyop.
by psyop. So you're admitting it's a psyop. Because if it wasn't a psyop, you would have resigned and done it privately. Why didn't you want to do it privately? You have enough money. You've been making these stupid videos for long enough. You can pay your rent, sir.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, not sir, ma'am. But no, you want to psyop the kids. If you actually discuss this whole topic, you'll see it's very obvious that they want to psyop the kids, and that's the end goal of it. And
Correct.
they'll sit there and then they'll try and do, because I'm a professional and I know exactly how these
Listen.
people think, they'll argue the psyop is okay. But why should I hide? I'm proud. So they'll argue. Then they'll start arguing for their psyop, not understanding that they're just admitting I'm right. You're psyoping kids. I don't want any child under the age of 10 thinking about sex in any way.
No.
Changing sex, vagina. They
Exactly,
have
and that
enough time.
You know what? And here where I say it's not that bad, right? In South Africa and other parts of the world, it's not that bad as it is in the US, as it is in other Western countries, the UK, parts of Europe now also. But thankfully, it's not that bad here. But there, I'm hearing a few crazy stories about it being brought up in kids' education and all sorts of nonsense, which I believe, is incorrect. It's not morally acceptable.
Time